Do you remember we did the chart of a person who was considering working in the family business, and we were going through this wealthy promoting yogas, and also recently we did the chart of ultra wealthy spouse. We went through all these yogas to be sure that yes, this reflects the reality. So we did that consultations today. It was a blast. So I want to share with you this journey, how we were going through yogas in this chart. And I must say that before putting those birth details into the Deva Guru, I was having some expectation. I had some picture of this chart. Will there be some Dana yogas? Second 11 connected to the Trikona. How the 11th from the Arudha Lagna will look like? What about the Mercury and Jupiter? Fourth from Sun and the Navamsha, the Shamsa. Because I already had some impression from the child and the spouse, so I had some expectation also about this chart. And as we said in the previous video, this person is leading one of the largest cryptocurrency mining projects. Person is expert in this field and also is getting a very good financial response from his efforts. So we will analyze this in this video. You can also wonder why this mustache astrologer is doing all that videos about the wealth, but it's not me, it's you. I'm just seeing that you love those videos, so I couldn't help myself and just to finalize this trilogy about this very wealthy charts. By the way, do you think that speaking slower is so easy? There are many subconscious processes and also other factors. So today we are trying to make this material a little bit shorter, less dense. So in this video we'll be going through 3 levels. Image level, which must confirm the huge wealth, then the blessing level, and then the fortune or the mind level. And as usual, we are going through the same rules because we want to have some reputable patterns on which we can depend. This is done with the idea that you can apply all those techniques into your own chart. So if you are aspiring Bernard Arnault, you will have now the tools which you can see if the flame of hope is burning in your chart. The first point is 11th from Arudha Lagna. You need to find this point. Usually we have some abbreviation AL and count 11 houses from this house. And there you need to see either exalted planets, debilitated, or Atma Karaka. And for this, you need to learn Rasi Drishti, which are the sign aspects. See if the one of these 3 is having some touch into this point, and then we have this confirmation yes. So from this, you may gather yes or no, and the source. So in this case, we have Venus and Sun. Venus is exalted. So we have Ucha Graha exalted, and it happens that the Sun is Atma Karaka and is aspecting 11th from Arudha Lagna, where we have a Mars. So the Mars is showing the former business related to construction, and now we have this Sun and the Venus showing the huge wealth. Now, what is beautiful when 2 people are going together and they will experience the same thing, then those charts must reflect this. If a person has a huge wealth, yogas in the chart, then the spouse cannot have some Daridra yogas or something like that. It will not, unless there is some cancellation or Nicha Banga or change of dynamic through Dasha, the timing system. Because otherwise it will not fit. So always you will find also that, for example, your best friends will share the same Mercury, Tattva, and also for this relationship they will be similar factors. And if that specific feature of the chart is wealth, then this must be signified in both of the charts. In the spouse chart we have Venus exalted Atma Karaka, which was aspecting 11th from Arudha Lagna, or was in the 11th from Arudha Lagna. And here we have the same Venus exalted with Atma Karaka aspecting 11th from Arudha Lagna. So both spouse and the person are having this yoga for huge wealth. Therefore, we can depend on that rule. This is something very valuable because it will repeat, and if we push this touch trigger, it will respond with the proper answer, proper value. Now we are going to the second point, which is fourth from the sun. So the sun sign is not so important as the fourth from the sun for these mothers. So here it will be Gemini. And the Lord of Gemini is always Mercury. So Mercury will now hold the role to provide the wealth. And Mercury and Mars are in that parivartana or exchange. So you see the things are getting a little bit complicated. The Mars is showing this construction business, 7th Lord Mars, which was the first inspiration, and then it changed for the cryptocurrency, which is also related to the Mercury, to the cash. And this all happened after 2013 when person started traveling abroad. Exactly, I think it was a year after two Dashas were showing that 12th house activation. It was related to the moon. Moon is an 8 in Dasha, showing the big change of the business. And that was the huge transformation for the person. And now that wealth gets activated. The two troubles were in Moon Jupiter and Moon Saturn. In the chart of D4, the place of stay, you can find both of these planets in the 12th house. And of course, we are using the Kevala Dasha because Sun is Atma Karaka and Moon Dispositor. So we need to start the whole timing system from the nakshatra of the Sun. Those yogas when second is in the 12th, because the trikona to that 12th is the 8th house, we say that the person's wealth depends on other resources. Because Mercury and Jupiter are involved, this has to do either with teaching, consulting, or finances. This yoga will always channelize its direction in this or that way. And Mercury is now having this parivartana from 12 to 2nd, which is transforming other expenses or its own expenses, which then will become investment into their own assets, resources, and the wealth. That is the beauty of that yoga and the connection to this point of reference related to wealth. Because if that yoga would be there, but these wealth indicators would not agree, then it will not manifest in such a way. Now we are going to the Navamsha, and we'll check 10th house here. Navamsha is the special chart of fortune, and we need to look for yogas for wealth, like Venus and Moon, and we need to look for Saturn. Mars, of course, will give some wealth from the construction, but Saturn with Mars, the Yama Yoga is often giving the property wealth. But before going there, if you have found any value in this video so far, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up, subscribe with the bell notification on, and now let's go back to this analysis. Saturn is the 10th lord and is together with the moon and Jupiter exalted, which is showing huge wealth. Saturn is showing the source as speculation. And to catch the yoga for huge wealth, you need to understand the Rasi Drishti, and you will get to know that cardinal signs are aspecting the fixed. So fixed being the 10th house, the point of reference for wealth, is aspected by Moon and Venus. So they are having connection to the 10th house, enabling this person to amass huge wealth. By the way, you know what is hard in speaking slow? That in trying to do so, not to lose own style, own authenticity, and that it will not sound cringe. So one has to balance all the time that it's slow, but also is still yourself, because in a way you are all the time controlling yourself, and you may go into territory that is not you anymore. Now, very interesting thing is happening in the Dashamsa. 7th Lord Mars, it will show that construction business, but Mars is an own sign, so we need to go to Saturn. Saturn will show the speculation business, so both are there. And to confirm we are seeing the things in proper perspective, we are doing the good job, is the confirmation by the timing systems. So interestingly, person started the construction business in the Dasha of Mars, which is related to the Scorpio also, and started the speculation business in the Dasha of Pisces, which is related to that Saturn, which is connected also to 7 through this Uchanata. So now we have confirmation that the Dashamsa is proper rectified and that we can use this chart, and that those both circumstances, possibilities for business will be successful. As a bonus point, we can see that this Sun at Karaka is not really related to this wealth yoga and the 12. Also, the dispositor of the moon is the Sun, and the Lagna Lord is Venus, exalted with high ideals. So the soul, the mind, intelligence, the core of the self, is in that Pisces at Karaka Varga. So, in fact, the person is having those, because it's in 11 and it's the Pisces, high austerity to be free, high motivation, desire for liberation and for spirituality. So based on that, we could say that, and that was confirmed also by the native, that person likes to build and then rebuild those businesses in various parts of the world, or projects. And in fact, this is something very enjoyable. Even this trigger, this temptation to destroy and do it everything from the scratch. Because that is the also different between the Vaishya consciousness, which is the merchant, and Kshatriya consciousness, which is more as a warrior. Kshatriya consciousness is doing all that wealth thing not to amass the wealth because of the fear, but this is just to prove themselves and others that this can be done. It's more like a competition. It is not really controlling this insecurity, and in fact these people may live or even enjoy living in a very minimal or austere personal situation, and simultaneously having this huge wealth, because they are not sensually attached to it, only status-wise. Therefore they can do much more risk, because if they lose, they are still not caught by the fear. They can still live in a very austere situation. And I think with such person we are dealing here when we are seeing this dichotomy between those wealth yogas and also this very high personality and personal strengths. There you go. You have those 3 tips how to check the sources, timing and amount of wealth. I hope this will elevate you to the next level of Jyotish. With that said, thanks for watching till the end. Please show some love by hitting the like button and subscribe for more videos like this. You can also join our Discord community with the link you can find in the description. For one-on-one session, please hit me up here with that email. If you are still hungry for more, then please consider watching this one.